Good morning, students. Now, looking forward for another topic of parking studies. Like today, we'll be viewing into various methods of parking, and there are two types of methods. One is on street, another is off street parking. So, let's see what it is about. Uh, First, we'll see on street parking, that is curb parking. In this type of parking, vehicles are parked on the curb, which may be designed for parking, and it is quite convenient for those who could find a suitable space to park their vehicles near the place they wish to stop. Now, unless curb parking facility has been adequately designed, it might lead to inconvenience and congestion due to decreased road capacity as well as increase in accidents. The curb parking facility may be either unrestricted or restricted type. That means in the restricted curb parking, it may be controlled by police or by meters, and a certain fees collected from those who park their vehicles for a certain duration of parking time. In curb parking, parking is prohibited at intersections, at crossing of pedestrians, in narrow streets, at building entrance, on bridges, in tunnels, and under bridges. So now let's see what are the different methods of curb parking, that is parallel parking and angle parking in case of on-street parking. Okay, as we can see here, this is the parallel parking portion. Okay, N is here the number of spaces, L is the curb length in meters, MS maneuvering space, and all dimensions are in meters. So it is clear from parallel parking that the vehicles are parked in a parallel fashion, and N is calculated by L by 6.6. That is L is the total curb length, it is given in the figure, and 6.6 is the center to center distance between spaces. Now it can be 30-degree parking, it can be 45-degree parking, it can be 60-degree parking, it can be 90-degree angle parking also. So in 30-degree, the space distance is 5.1, okay, approximately, and in 45-degree it is 3.6, in 60-degree it is 2.9, and in 90-degree it is 2.5, okay. And you can see the maneuvering distance also, yeah, it is given here 8.3, here it is 9.7, here it is 11.4, here it is 13. That is for parking movement and unparking movement, yeah. So these are the technical dimensions of this is the curb length, yeah, and the angle and the nature of parking that is usually done in case of on-street parking. Now, when we analyze the things, yeah, let's see some important points about on-street parking methods. Angle parking accommodates more vehicles per unit length of curb, and maximum vehicles that can be parked is with an angle of 90 degree. Now, the width of road required for parking and unparking also movement also is more with angle parking, and it increases with the parking angle up to a maximum 90-degree angle. Now, as we can see in the figure, like as the angle parking increases, suppose for the case of 30-degree, MS is 8.3. If we move on to 45-degree, MS increases. And if you move on to 60-degree, further it increases, yeah, and the maximum is 13 meters in case of 90-degree angle parking. So this clearly shows that the parking and unparking movement, yeah, also is more with angle parking. Now, angle parking is more convenient for the motorist than the parallel parking because it produces much more obstruction to the through traffic, resulting in more accidents than the parallel parking. Now, out of various angles used in parallel parking, 45-degree angle is considered the best from all the considerations. Parallel parking is generally preferred when the width of curb parking space and the width of street are limited, but the parking and unparking operations are more difficult, needing a few forward and reverse movements. We can imagine before parking properly or before taking it out. So this was about on-street parking methods, and now let us see what are off-street parking methods. Now, as you can see in this figure, the off-street parking is facility provided at a separate place away from the curb, and it is known as off-street parking. The main advantage of this method is that there is no undue congestion and delay on the road, as in the case of curb parking. Now, main drawback is some of the owners will have to walk a greater distance after parking the vehicles, and it is also not possible to provide off-street parking facility at very close intervals, especially in business centers of a city. Okay, so for example, near airport it can be provided, near railway station it can be provided, okay, like these. Now, what are the different parking methods? Let's see the different parking methods. It is surface parks, multi-story car parks, roof parks, mechanical car parks, and underground car parks. Now, in surface park, the type of parking is used as, for example, supermarket, complexes, offices. In this parking, the size of stall, you can see in the figure, is 2.3 meters by 4.75 meters standard size. In case of multi-story car parks, this type of parking design for 400 to 500 car parking. In this type of parking, the parking design for maximum 4 to 5 floors is permitted. Now, this parking is used for larger area, and there are some rules like gradient of ramp, clear floor height, inside radius of curb, parking stall dimensions, width of traffic lane, loading standards. Okay, as you can see, the figures are written there. Now, the third method is roof park. Because of less space in many cities, parking facility provided on roof of the building. Now, for transport or vehicle arrangement and ramp or mechanical lift, okay, it is there. Fourth method is mechanical car parks. With the help of lift cars are lifted from one floor to another floor, and the cars are parked in stalls with the help of mechanical trolley. Maintenance cost is more in this case. And lastly, but not the least, we have underground car parks also. For example, basement of a building, okay. It is costly as compared to the other types, ventilation needs to be provided, foundation, proper lighting, etc.